So I want to talk to y'all a little bit about my family. So, for those of you who know me, you may know I grew up amongst lots of boys. I am one of 3 children. Both my older brother and my younger brother, clearly, boys. And then I spend a lot of time with my mom's side of the family, in which I have lots of male cousins. All of them. I really got to experience growing up being different than everyone else, which is not a bad thing. I loved growing up with boys. I would not change it for the world. It has made me who I am. And I am happy to say that I grew up amongst boys. Now, I did have female cousins on my dad's side, and I hung out with them some, but not near as much as I hung out with my cousins on my mom's side. I would go toe-to-toe with them all the time, especially when I was younger, when I didn't fundamentally understand the difference between boys and girls on the basic fundamental level. So I would often do things that were unladylike because I was around the guys all the time. It wasn't something I was used to. Eventually it came to my attention that this was not normal for most girls. Another thing that growing up with boys really helped me with is things roll off my back. I know lots and lots of girls. And I guess there are guys too who are like this, but I personally know lots of girls who everything you say to them affects them deeply. You can say one thing that's slightly negative towards them and it cuts all the way to their heart. And that's not bad per se, but I don't want to be that way. And I'm not that way because I grew up with boys. It was kind of, they would say something and it had to just roll off my back. And I'm okay with that. I think it made me a more easy to get along with person. Along with that, I'm tougher than I think I would have been otherwise. When you're the only girl, you gotta stand your own. And I was pretty good at standing my own, by any means necessary, which may not be the best quality in the world. But I could keep up, and that was good. Also, when I was very young, I got to experience the idea of you can't do something because you're a girl. You have to remember, to my papa, I'm his little girl. I'm the only granddaughter who's around. I have kind of one female cousin on my mom's side, but it's complicated. We're not going to get into that here. But I was his granddaughter, his little girl. And so the guys would do things like yard work, help him with construction. And it made me so mad when they would say, guys, come help. And I would go to help. And they'd say, no, guys. And I eventually got used to it. I would help Grandma around the house. Didn't particularly like that, opposed to helping cousins and Papa. But it began to seep into my other work. I began to realize I did work harder because I wanted people to see my worth. I cut the grass for my dad. I have 2 brothers, and I have a dad, and I cut the grass at my house. You know why? Because I cut the grass better than any of them. Well, probably not better than my dad, but my dad would rather me do it because he doesn't want to. I do the work that needs to be done, and I do it to the best of my ability. Because that's how you show your worth. That's how I could prove that I can do anything. You don't prove it by saying it. You prove it by doing it. You prove it by doing the yard work, doing the heavy lifting, doing things to the best of your ability and beyond. And that's something I learned being a girl, growing up in a family of guys. I don't think that's something I would have learned anywhere else. You have to be the best you can be. Because if you don't, it's a lie. And you are not going to be respected for. I love that I grew up with guys. It means I get along with guys really well. Which can be good and bad. It means I'm more likely to hang out with a whole bunch of guys than a whole bunch of girls, which can be a little weird. But I enjoy it. I like being one of the guys. I enjoy playing rough and doing the things that girls aren't supposed to do. Sometimes you'll have that moment where all of a sudden it feels like they just realize that you're a girl. Like you're playing rough and tumble with them and all of a sudden they realize that they're doing that with a girl. And that's hard. It's hard to remember them wanting boundaries is okay. But they don't want boundaries because I'm delicate. Or because I'm less. They want boundaries for themselves. They make boundaries so they make sure that they don't do something that they wouldn't want to, that they'll regret. So sometimes it's been hard being one of the guys. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't switch my brothers for sisters. I wouldn't switch any of my male cousins for female cousins. I wouldn't. Because I love them. And because I love who they made me. Bye, guys.